You are listening to Here Before, Here Now, an Arizona's Family Originals podcast.
Hey guys, Colton here with my newest episode of my podcast, Here Before, Here Now. I'm really excited about this guest because I had seen her star in a movie called Frybread Face and Me. You may remember that several weeks ago, I spoke to the director and the writer of the film, Billy Luther, and it was an incredible story, a coming-of-age tale of a young Navajo boy who lives in San Diego and spent the summer on his grandmother's place on the Navajo reservation. And while he was there, he met up with a friend, a cousin named Frybread. So they developed this really amazing relationship. It's a coming-of-age tale, and I am so excited to tell you that we have the star of the movie with us right now, Charley Hogan. She played Frybread, right? That's amazing. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. So yeah, it's Charley Hogan yinshit chini ninjle. My deshgini a bashichin deshchini ada deshiche kiani ada shanala. So hello, my name is Charley Hogan. I am of the Bitterwater clan, born for the Coyote Passing clan, and my maternal grandparents are the Started Red Streak People clan, and my paternal are Tiring House clan.
Okay, well, thank you for introducing us
Thank you.
yourself to our audience. I know that's very important for our people. I got to tell you, when I saw you in our lobby, I was like, oh my gosh, she's a real person, you know, because I had seen you in this movie. Billy had let me see a screener of it several weeks ago, and you're kind of like this up-and-coming celebrity.
Yeah, I am. I'm sorry. You know what? So like when I first came here, when we first entered, I saw the Good Morning AZ 3 a.m. 3AZ. I'm sorry. I was just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm actually in this building right now, and I'm going to meet Colton. So when you came here, I'm like, oh my god.
That's
like
crazy.
Inside, I was screaming.
What?
Like, oh my god.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
And then for the upcoming celebrity, it is happening. It's when I was at the LA Skins, we went to the gala as well. When I walked inside, it seems like everyone's all whispering to each other, saying like, "That's Charley. She played Frybread Face."
Yeah.
But it was really an experience that I would love to do again, and I still wish to do so. But at this time too, like I'm still processing as well, because I have like school, a youth council, so like there's just so much things happening. But what's really processed is that I made it, you know?
Yeah. No, seriously. I mean, you have your movie, Frybread Face and Me. It drops on Netflix on November 24th, which is incredible. Your work is going to be seen by an international audience. It's already been playing in festivals all across the world.
Yeah.
Tell our viewers a little bit about yourself. How old you are, what grade you're in, because you're still in school.
I am, yeah. So I'm 16 years old. When I made that film, I was 13. And I'm a junior now, so I'm in 11th grade. It's funny because I was just starting freshman year during that film.
Yeah.
So I was just entering high school. Before this, I took interest in art a lot. So I would say I'm like a multimedia artist myself. I take joy in film, photography, traditional drawing, painting, music as such. So during my free time, I tend to do such things of those. I know that at school we'll have concerts during music, so I perform twice. I've started with theater as well. So theater in elementary, I did Wizard of Oz. I was a Tin Man.
Okay.
And then I did 2 other theaters online over Zoom because of the pandemic. So one was called The Feast by the Same Boat Theater, and the other 2 were with the American Indian Community House Theater. They both were international as well, so they're an international live performance. So that's when I kind of had a glimpse of actually acting. And I'm honored to actually do that with them because they prepped me, and they gotten me started with acting as well. So when I did this film project, I was I was beyond shocked. So
Oh, wow, that is so crazy. So take me back to the beginning of this journey. I mean, how did you find out about the audition process for this movie, and how many people did you beat out to land this role?
So, funny story is that when growing up, I enjoyed film a lot, especially horror movies, drama, just emotion movies a lot. And me and my family, we love movies so much to a point like we'll say lines to each other. But as growing up too, like every time I watched Twilight, for instance, that was like my favorite. I would see like how they acted, what they would do with their emotions, their facial expressions. So that just wanted me to like, hey, I want to try acting. I want to be an actor when I grow up. And we found a casting call because I wanted to challenge myself after those 2 theaters. We found a casting call for Frybread Face and Me, and I happenly fit the description for Fry. So when I auditioned, I didn't hear back for like 2 weeks. Until then, we had a call back saying they wanted me to audition, same person, different scene.
Mm-hmm.
So we auditioned that again, and here 2 weeks went by, and yet we had a personal call from Billy Luther himself saying, hey, I would like to meet you.
Oh my gosh.
So we got to meet him. I answered his questions, how old I was, what I would like to do, and from there, I fit the role.
Wow.
But it seems, too, that when I auditioned, the producer, Chad, has said, she's the one. We're done. That's Fry.
Wow.
So I guess I nailed the role.
Obviously, I mean, you're going to have a movie drop soon. But what's really cool is this happened when you were 13 years old.
Yes.
So when I spoke to Billy about it, he said that it filmed before the pandemic, right? Or was it during the pandemic?
It was during the pandemic, like 2020. It just like started.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard because there's times we had to wear a mask on set,
Mm-hmm.
and you had to stay 6 feet apart. And if you weren't in the scene, you had to get off set. And if you were, you got brought back. So it was a little bit challenging, especially since it was during monsoon season in July. Yeah, it's July. But overall, I mean, how the movie came out, I say it was worth it, though, because it just came out as a total masterpiece.
So I've seen the movie, and obviously you've seen the movie. For our viewers, tell us what it's about. I mean, it's a coming-of-age tale. You and your cousin, who is native but didn't grow up on the res, comes back because of family issues. What's the story about to you?
To me, it's about healing in many ways, not in just one way, along with connected with the 4 R's: respect, relationship, responsibility, and reciprocity. So and throughout the film, it shows the 4 R's. So Ben, the main character, he's having family issues with his parents. So he went to his grandmother's house on the reservation, the Navajo reservation, and he met his cousin, Frybread Face. And me, he didn't really seem to get along with Uncle Marvin, and he just butted heads. So throughout the movie, respect during, you could see that they really butted heads a lot. But at the end of the film, Ben earned Marvin's respect. So they had their peace right there. They were okay. And it showed the relationship with his family members, Grandma, Marvin, Aunt Lucy, Sharon, Roger, me, Frybread Face. But I also think it was showing the relationship of himself as well, finding himself on the reservation, finding his connection to home since he's been in the city, and responsibility. So you can see there that everyone has their own role. Marvin's role is to shear the sheep or to get the hay, the water. Grandma she's weaver, so she weaves the rugs. Aunt Lucy is beading. So Ben and Fry responsibility would be taking care of the sheep.
Mm-hmm.
So as you see that they lost one sheep, they got scolded by the family members, but they ended up getting it back. So that was their responsibility. And then reciprocity, so that's giving. So in such, when Ben left the reservation with his mom, you could see that he ran back and delivered his Fleetwood Mac shirt as a sign as I'm always here with you, as well as Fry giving him her Jeffrey Bridges Cabbage Patch doll. So the head of it would say like I'm always here with you as well.
Right. Yeah, there were so many different things in the movie where I was just like, oh man, this really hits home.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, my parents were born and raised on the Navajo Nation, and I was born and raised in Phoenix. So there were so many parallels with me and the main character Ben going back home, and being expected to do certain things, but not really knowing how to do certain things. And I saw my cousins in your performance too, the ones who were also living and born and raised on the reservation. So when I was watching this movie, I literally saw my life, which I thought was so cool to see, and when it comes to Native American representation in film and in movies, I think we're starting to finally see that authenticity, right?
Yeah.
That many people have experienced. What do you have to say about your role in that, bringing that to the big screen?
So what's interesting about this is that when I was playing Frybread Face and Me, I could see, as well as you said, the resemblance.
Mm-hmm.
I saw myself as Frybread Face, I saw myself as Benny. The relationship that Fry had with Grandma, I really resemble that. Personally, I had a really close relationship with my grandfather. Will Sr., Wilbur Hogan Begay. And growing up, I've always been with him. We really clicked, so I always hold him to myself, such as Fry's always like holding Grandma to herself, doesn't want to share. So doing that scene, like just being by Grandma, I'm just like, this really feels like I'm right by my grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
We also have that mean uncle, the one who's a little too hard on you. So I saw my own family members in there.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Ben. I saw myself. I grew up on the reservation as well. I also grew up in the city.
Mm-hmm.
So I live in two different environments. I live one in the desert as well in the mountains. So that's Fry. She resembles three of my actually all my cousins. I'm very dearly close to. In Chinle, Arizona, that's my cousin. They taught me how to feed the sheep, herd sheep. They taught me how to take care of the ranch as much. And in the mountains, they taught me to just play. It's okay to be yourself. You don't need to be really stiff and such. But I say that this story resembles everyone in their own lifestyle, especially the people that were on crew and actors as well. They all felt like this is home. So I'm glad that this story got to make people feel that as well, and to remember their home, their grandma, their relationship with others as well.
When I saw you on screen and you tell me that you're 13 years old when you played this role, I mean, this is a pretty tough character to play. She, at first, gives off this really tough exterior, not friendly, and over the course of time, you see her kind of soften up a little bit to her cousin, who, she also is curious about. How did you tap into that character? I know you said you have cousins who you saw in that role, but is there one in particular that you're like, oh, I'm gonna pretend to be this one, or I'm just gonna? How do you tap into that?
It's funny because I do that.
Okay.
I pretend I'm gonna be this one.
Yeah. Okay.
So I had this older sister who I kind of butted heads with, but at the same time, I was annoying when I was a kid, so it was understandable. But so I have a real close relationship with my cousins or my sisters and my brother. So while filming her being tough and just I don't like you, I pictured myself as my oldest sister. She's a person who would also be tough, but she really warms up to you after a while. So I did some scenes where I'm like, I'm gonna be her. And other scenes, such as like the makeup scene where she's doing her makeup and all Miss Navajo, I pictured my other oldest sister. In fact, she loves fashion, she loves makeup. So I'm like, she inspires me, so I'll do this as well. And such for like the sheep, the corral, and others, I picture myself as my oldest sister as well on my mother's side. She's the one I was saying that they taught me how to herd sheep, how to feed the sheep as well, take care of the horses. So I put myself along with my family's personalities, their traits, I put them into that character as well. So it wasn't just me being me. I mean, it was majority it was, but half of the time too, it was them that I was portraying too.
Yeah. When you went back to school after filming wrapped up and everything, was this something that you kind of kept to yourself, or did you tell everyone, hey, I'm going to be in a movie?
So at first, yes, because, well, I mean, actually, no, not at first. I am still doing that to this day. I'm still trying to be humble.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went back to school, it was my first day of school, art school. I didn't mention it at all. My main focus was actually like, oh my gosh, do I need to make friends? I'm failing my classes. I need to catch up on work. I need, anxiety kicked in too. Being a new student, you got like new people you never met before. Mm. But during my sophomore year, I made my my best friend. I met him, and he was the first person I told, and he's the only one at my school who knows, student-wise. Other times when I had to go to premieres in my school, I would tell my teacher, hey, I cannot do this. I'm going on an event. Mm. And I'll tell them, like, this event's this is that. So the teachers, the principal, and just my best friend, they're the only ones who know about this film. So, but I'm pretty sure
now they all know.
I'm
right?
pretty sure, like, after Netflix, they're gonna all know and be like, "Oh my gosh, Charley, you've been in a movie."
Yeah. Tell me where this movie has taken you, because some of the premieres I've seen Billy post up on his socials at, I'm like, oh wow, he's all over the place. Where have you been because of this movie?
So, first premiere was in March 2023. I went to Austin, Texas, South by Southwest. Amazing there. Red carpet was actually carpet from The Shining.
Wow.
I know. I was like, and I'm a big horror fan, so all this was like a big deal for me. It was cool because there's like statues of Michael Myers, Carrie, with just like a TV, but like with the fuzz. So that was really interesting. And then after that, I went to LA, and that was a really good experience. I enjoyed that. I met A. Martinez. I'm like,
wow, that's
I know.
So crazy.
I'm like, oh my god. So then I also went to Tucson. I also went to Santa Fe, Denver, LA again. There was 2 places I couldn't go, sadly. It was actually 3 places. It was Seoul, Toronto, and New York.
Yeah, I was mentioning those like international places that I was thinking about. I was like, oh, did you go there because of it? But you didn't, which is which is unfortunate. But there's always more time, right?
Yeah.
So
during that time though, I was again like I'm more focused as well on my education.
Yeah.
So sadly, we couldn't go like out of state, but I'm happy that, or not out of the country. I'm sorry. But I was happy enough that we went, like, I got to go places that were out of Arizona, such as Denver, Santa Fe. So I was like, this is a real big experience as well.
Yeah.
So.
I'd be like, Mom, can I take a year off?
I was like, can I get, like,
Yeah.
I just want to take 2 years off.
Right.
2 years.
So now that this is done and over with, obviously it's going to reach a wider audience as soon as it hits Netflix. I mean, I've already seen the stills, the promotionals about all this. What is it like seeing that? I mean, it's something you had wanted to do, and it's happening. It's got to be like this coolest experience.
As a kid, I wanted to be numerous things. Actor was my top 10, but I also wanted to be a singer, an artist, own an art gallery, author, photographer, just all these things. And I used to think I just have to stick with one job, until my mom taught me that you can do multiple while doing one, like more than one. she named these celebrities such as Jared Leto. He has his band and he's an actor as well. So I'm like, you know what? Yeah. So acting is something I would still love to continue, and I am going to continue this. I know that after Netflix, I'm gonna be busy with auditions, since with my manager. But other than that, I also want to persuade my dream of being a musician, a guitarist, singer, and such, an artist. I still want to open my own gallery. I still do kind of want to write stories, so I want to persuade that as well. And I definitely still want to be a photographer, so I'm also taking more interest in that. Also I'm wanting to go to school for filming as well, so I'm going to learn more about the film industry. I know the basics, but I would like to know beyond the basics as well.
Absolutely. So my question is, do you have anything in the can or lined up or possible near projects, future projects?
I'm actually available.
Okay.
I don't have any projects, so if any directors or writers are listening, please hit me up.
Yeah, hit me up too, because I want to do this.
Yeah,
it sounds like fun.
Yeah, so just contact me. I am open to auditions for any shooting as well. So, just again, contact me as well.
One of the cool things about seeing this movie was just seeing how real the place looked, like the sets looked and everything. When you see that on the big screen, when you've seen it and you see that authenticity there, what does that do for you and what should it do for the audiences?
So I know for a fact that when Billy introduced us to the location that we were going to film most of the scenes, like Grandma's Ranch, the Hogan, there was nothing. He just said, look, that's just where we're going to shoot. It may be empty. And the next day, the art crew on set, they did the Hogan, the ranch, Grandma's trailer. It was unbelievable. Again, it made me feel like I was back home. I got teary and emotional when I saw it because it's been so long since I got to go back because of the pandemic. But for me, it felt like I was home. I was at ease. I was peaceful. All these memories started flooding. And I wanted that for the audience and the people on set, the crew, the actors, just everyone. I wanted them to feel what I was feeling. The audience, I wanted them, when they watched it, to feel like, oh, this reminds me of my story, my childhood, I wanted them to be having the memories flooding as well, to be peaceful, to be just there, not to think about anything else but oh, man, And I'm glad because people were walking up to me saying, this reminds me of this reminds me of that was my cousin, I was this, you resembled me, you resemble it was just on, and I was really happy to hear that, because what I wanted has actually come true, to wanting them to feel that way, and they did. And it was an honor to also give them that experience as well.
For me growing up, I'm in my mid-30s now, but when I was younger, I also was really interested in making movies and doing all that sorts of stuff too. And for me growing up, I think when it came to representation in film and television and stuff like that, there was not really much in way of a lot of Native actors with their own shows that would be produced by Native actors and all that, or Native people. But it seems like there's a huge shift. I mean, in the last 5 years, you've had Reservation Dogs come out. You have Dark Winds on AMC. You've got this movie. What's it like to be a part of this huge wave of representation of our people?
It's beautiful. When I walked on set, it was filled with Native Americans, and it was just beautiful. The crew, the art crew, the people on set, they were Native Americans, so they built the ranch. They felt that. They knew what was there. The actors were Native American as well, so they had an idea when they read the script. the producer, the director, Billy Luther, like everyone, the cameraman, they were all Native American as well, it was beautiful because I got to be a part of that. I got to see a whole production be full of Native Americans, and to be part of representing Native Americans, again, Dark Winds, Reservation Dogs, this movie, Frybread Face and Me, I'm really honored because we get to tell our story. See, we're naturally storytellers, so being able to tell Billy's story and your story, the audience's story, my story, it was life-changing. Because now we can just tell our story through new technology, such as like computers, phones, TV, cameras, So it was really inspiring me.
Mm-hmm.
It also kept inspiring me to do more of it, to become one as well.
When I spoke with Billy about this movie, I said to him that growing up, for me, like, I would watch Smoke Signals over and over again, right? Because, yeah, why not, right? It's a great movie. But then he had mentioned that hopefully this movie becomes the Smoke Signals for, like, the next generation. And I can easily see that being a thing. Like, eventually when this reaches a wider audience and more Native people watch it, like you said, you quoted movies with your cousins. I do that too with my family. I think it's just a Native thing, right?
I think so too.
Exactly. So eventually someone just gonna be quoting your guys' lines.
And you know what? It's funny because Smoke Signals, Powwow Highway, Dance Me Outside, those 3 movies were the ones I continuously, and I still do, I'll play over and over again. And it's funny because I can watch this movie, Frybread Face and Me, over and over again. It really hits people emotionally. It really hits them in their heart because it resembles them, everyone, majority. So I agree with Billy. I think this would be the new Smoke Signals because it's touching. You know, it touched me when I first saw it. When I read the script, touched my family. It touched the audience. Shoot, I still cry when I see it.
Yeah. Well, it's a very powerful movie. It's very well written, very well acted, and also directed. So I can't wait to be able to watch it again. Hopefully it stays on Netflix for a while, right?
Yeah. Hopefully it stays on for a long time. Yeah. It's nice to have people watch it, wanting to watch more. And I know that some people weren't able to make it in some places to watch it, and I'm glad that it's coming out on Netflix because they get to see it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Charley, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure speaking with you. I can only see greater things in your future. You're so young, so you got the world at your feet. So congrats on this movie, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Thank you. And thank you for having me on this broadcast.
Yeah.
I'm still screaming inside.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for this episode of Here Before, Here Now. Tune in next time.
This is Here Before, Here Now, an Arizona's Family Originals podcast.